Hey guys, Gary with Lacrosse, and today I have a review for you on probably one of the most talked about heads that has recently come out, and it is the EPOCH Hawk. So EPOCH sent me this head and had me try it out, I guess because since I might have been one of the only face-off guys, I don't know. So try it out on face-offs, and so I did. I took it down to OC Lax Classic and I used it for about a game and a half. And then I switched back over to my normal face-off stick, only because that's what I was used to and just some of the things that I didn't like as far as the face-off side of it. They also sent me some Otter Mesh, so that's what's in here is the Otter Mesh. If you guys don't know, Otter Mesh is pretty much a soft mesh that is like water resilient or waterproof. I did dunk it in water and try to pass around, did a little bit of wall ball with it, and the pocket didn't seem to bag out. It did seem like it was wet, but I think it's just the material that it's made of that it will seem wet, but it doesn't stretch like it normally would if it got wet. So anyway, on with the review. As far as the face shape, I do like it. That's how I normally like my face-off heads. I like them to be nice and long here in the throat, and then do the flare, just for doing like pinch and pops and for doing clamps. What I don't like is how wide it is, only because I'm not really a big fan of the wide heads. I like to be able to have, you know, like a normal high school spec head. I did use the Blade Pro for a while and it was great, but it tended to start like really bending in so much versus I'm not having that problem with my high school edition one. The sidewall shape is really cool. What they do is they design this head to utilize a mid or a high pocket, predominantly a high pocket, which is why, unlike most heads, which are usually wider at the bottom down here and then they narrow out up at the top, this one is narrower at the bottom and then widens up at the top. So it's for that pocket. What I didn't like on it with the face-offs was that because of the lack of plastic here, a lot of times the ball was still exposed. And there was a couple of times where after I went ahead and I'd pinch down on it and I'd come out with it, they would be able to smack the back of the ball and it would pop out because too much of the ball was exposed. Normally with my heads, like with my blade or something like that, because it's so fat down at the bottom, the head is the ball is predominantly covered by the plastic, so it's not that big of an issue. But as far as the flex, this was what they call a flex IQ of 5, which apparently, I guess, from them saying that, I guess that means that they're going to be able to make them stiffer, maybe more for defense, and make them more flexible for more of like your face-off guys or something like that. So I'm guessing they can make it differently as far as the flexing of it. I didn't have a problem with the flexing. It tends to snap back if you do a real quick, clamp, pinch, and then toss it out. But a lot of times with me, they know that like when I go up against somebody and I get my clamp and I'm trying to pinch it and bring it out, they jump on top of my stick and start pushing my stick down. So I'm constantly trying to get it out and they're on top of me, so I tend to keep my head bent for a while. And then I'm able to finally maneuver away and then kick it out. So for my style of play, it just doesn't suit me. But if for somebody who just does clamps and rakes it out, or clamps and kicks it behind them underneath, between their legs, it would work fine. There wouldn't be a problem with that. But if those are like your main tricks, like I said, my main trick is a pinch and pop. Get it, fling it out, and then pick it up and go. So I would probably say it's about a 6 for a face-off head. And it would be a lot higher if the bottom here, if this bottom sidewall was much wider. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I did ground balls with it. Had no problem doing ground balls. It seems to work real well for ground balls. Apparently, from my understanding, this is supposed to be like some kind of traction or grip for the ball. I don't see no difference between the way this will do a ground ball versus any other normal head that's really good for ground balls, the way the scoop design is. It's got a really nice design for the scoop. It's not like super pointed like some heads are, like the Nike CEO. I think that one comes up to like a real good point. And so a lot of times when I had that and I tried to scoop, that point would just dig into the ground. I didn't like that. So like I said, about a 6, maybe a 7 for face-offs. The plastic is not a normal plastic. It's not what most heads are made out of. Most heads are made out of like a vinyl. This is actually made from a polymer. So if you guys don't know what the polymer is, it's actually what a lot of your firearms, like your assault rifles, hunting rifles, it's a synthetic stock that they use, which is actually made of polymer. And I think Glocks, their frames are made of polymer. A lot of your like handguns and stuff have like a polymer frame. It's a very durable plastic, so I don't foresee you being able to break this that easily. I actually tried to break it numerous times while I was in Ocean City before I even took it out before our game, because I went down to Ocean City ahead of time. So at nighttime, I would put the ball down and I would just start trying to bend it. A lot of times, if you were able to ever come out to, I know a couple of kids got to see me out there playing. A lot of times when I'm doing a face-off, I'll actually take it and take the side here and touch the bottom here. I put that much torque into it that it'll touch each other. And it wouldn't snap. I've done it where I've held it down there, it didn't snap. It's like I said, it kept its face shape. It didn't start pinching in like a lot of heads would, like a superpower. And as far as stringing, it strung up real nice. Like I said, it's designed for a high pocket or a mid pocket, predominantly a high pocket, because you can see how thick the plastic is up here. That's more where they want you to put the pocket. I don't like high pockets. I'm more of a mid pocket person. I like a mid, maybe a mid high, depending on the head itself. And I've switched up mine to where I actually use straights. I don't use U's anymore. And so as far as being able to string this, it's strung up real nice. I put initially a low pocket in it, and then I went to a high pocket to see how that looked, and then I strung it back up with like a mid-low pocket, so it'll transition down to the bottom like that for when I go for the face-off, so I can get the ball to stay in this area and not have the mesh push the ball up to the center. And it turned out fine. So like I said, if you guys are thinking about it for face-offs, it all depends on your style, really. It depends on what you do. I would say if you're a pinch and pop or a plunger guy, then I would say no. If you're really quick on your hands to where you can actually, get the clamp and rake it out, then yeah, fine, go for that. But if your main moves are pinch and pops and plungers, then I wouldn't do it. I had the benefit that we have 3 face-off guys on my team, so if one of us starts to get beat, we just jump over to somebody else and we're constantly rotating our guys in and out. So you're never going to see the same move constantly going, because we all do different things. So with that being said, let's move on to the mesh. Like I said, the mesh is actually really soft. I was shocked, and it was extremely light. So from my understanding, they went with I think it was String King, and like partnered in with them to develop this mesh. And so like everybody knows String King's mesh, everybody likes it, they're real popular. Rob Pennell uses it. Well, I have never messed with String King's mesh. I haven't touched it, so I can't really compare it to that. To me, this is pretty much a soft mesh. Only difference is I think it's a lot more, it's not as water absorbent as your soft mesh would be, and it's a lot lighter than what the soft mesh would be. So I don't know what kind of materials they use for it. I don't know how well it will take if you're constantly scraping it on the grass, if it's going to eventually just wear through. As far as the hold, it seemed to hold real well. As far as cradling, passing, you could really feel the ball coming up and getting onto the shooters. So it's not bad for some of you guys like me. I like my wax mesh. I like using wax mesh. Even for face-offs, I use the East Coast mesh. But this, if you use a lot of face-off guys I know will actually just use soft mesh. And I think this is a very good mesh to use for face-offs if that's what you want. If you like that soft mesh, definitely go for it. Definitely one of the best meshes that I've been able to see. I mean, I've messed around with, when it came to Gemma Wax, Gemma Mesh, Gemma Hard Mesh, Stringer Shacks Mesh. I've messed around with all that stuff. Even the new Money Mesh that's not wax, but especially waterproof. This is definitely way better than that stuff because it's a lot lighter and it's a lot softer. The Gemma Money is actually like really hard. It's almost like a hard mesh. And I had got a piece of that in and was messing around with it, and I just didn't like it at all. To me, I found it difficult to string. Didn't stretch so well. Even though in their videos they show it opens up and stretches real nice, it didn't stretch as well as it looked in the video. But this actually turned out to stretch real nice and real good. So all in all, if you guys are looking for a new stick, I mean, I would definitely say, you can go with an EPOCH Hawk. It's not a bad head. It's definitely for their first try at putting the head out, they did very well with it. So I can only imagine what they'll do next as far as trying to innovate the game and come out with something different. Maybe they'll come out with a head that's designed maybe for a low. Well, most heads are already designed for low pockets and mid pockets and all that, but maybe they'll come up with different designs. Maybe they'll come up with the high school spec. I don't think so, because I'm thinking a lot of high schools are going to start going to that college rule. Maybe that's the reason why when they released it as they did. But other than that, that's it, guys. I mean, I hope you liked the video. And like I said, I mean, it's a good head. Just I wouldn't really suggest it for my style for face-offs. But for like midfielders and attack and stuff like that, I would definitely say go ahead and go pick one up. You know, give it a shot. You know, give it a try. I think they're doing good things with this stuff. All right, so that's it, guys. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I do have Twitter and Facebook, and that's it. Have a good one.